y'all? It's Brian here. Thanks for watching Texas Country Music News. I really appreciate it. Today's July 20th, and we got a lot to cover, so we're going to hop right into it. Alright, so this upcoming Sunday, Texas Country Music Connection is going to be on site at the Voices for Voices benefit concert tour of the decades with Erick Willis headlining. The event, other acts are going to include Thunderpants, Jack Mason, Good Latimer, The Herald, Project DXFF, and Allison Cook. The doors open at 2. Music starts at 3. The Arlington Music Hall it has a super rich history with country music. It has been the place to go for entertainment. It opened in 1950 as a movie theater. The feature film Seabiscuit, starring Shirley Temple, was the first one that played there. The movie premiere was followed by a memorable onstage performance by a local band, the Flying Ranch Hands, who later became known as the Light Crust Doughboys. Today on the marquee sign, a remnant of the original curtain is displayed in the hospitality room, and there are tributes to the history throughout the venue. In 1994, Johnny High, which some of you guys might remember, a singer and musician, songwriter, businessman, he purchased the theater to relocate Johnny's High Country Music Review. Johnny's High Country Music Review was a weekly variety show to showcase local talent, old and young. Over the years, Johnny interviewed tons of different people, including Leanne Rimes, Leanne Womack, Shoji Tabuchi, Blake Shelton, Gary Morris, Boxcar Willie, Wanda Jackson, Kitty Wells, and a ton of other people. But after 31 years, Johnny High's Country Music Review, it shuttered. Music Hall was then purchased and renovated by Burt Collins, a local developer, and consequently a country music fan. The acquisition played a significant role to continue the history of the Music Hall, along with the revitalization of downtown Arlington. More than $6 million of capital was paid to renovate the Music Hall and redevelop Center Street. They added tons of different restaurants, including one of our favorites, Babe's Chicken Dinner House. The Burt Collins Country Music Review continued through 2015, providing a permanent place for the weekly country music show while hosting country music legends from Willie Nelson to Loretta Lynn. In 2015, a group of local business owners led by Carrie Moon purchased the Arlington Music Hall complex. Renovations in 2015 and 2018 make the Music Hall a comfortable venue. They got really nice chairs. You can sit comfortably, enjoy a great listening experience. It is a non-profit 501c3 that promotes concerts and brings in top artists to Arlington year-round. And I think if you head over there, it'll be a great show. Basically, I'm going to be down there to cover Jon Wolfe. He's the main act for the Saturday show, and then I'll be there again for Sunday for Erick Willis. But if you didn't know, Jon Wolfe, he has the #1 song on Texas Country Music Chart, the T3R and the CDX. So with his song Cowgirl Like You, which is written for his song, and it benefits the Masonic Child and Family Services of Texas, which used to own the campus on Wichita Street, and it was the home of the Mighty Mites football team, which you may remember from the recent movie about the Mighty Mites. So moving on next, I'm gonna talk to you about what I consider to be a absolute bucket list of a concert series coming up, and it's the San Angelo Wild West Fest. So to start things off, we're going to talk about the main stage, which is at the Bill Ayler Senior Memorial River Stage. It runs July 29th through August 5th, 2022. Gates open at 5. I'm going to post this on my website. It's also posted on the Wild West Fest website. They do have some specials. These tickets that you can buy anywhere, they are only for the river stage. They're only for the Bill Ayler Senior Memorial River Stage. All the other locations might have their own tickets that are located at the bars throughout San Angelo. You can save $10 by buying a multi-day special. Multi-day general admissions $140. They have a multi-day VIP, which is $400, which includes private parking, private covered seating, air-conditioned bathroom trailer, private catered meal, private bar, and a free Wild West Fest koozie. If you just wanted to go on the 30th, it'd be $50 for general, $160 for VIP, and that would be to listen to Whiskey Myers, Muscadine Bloodline, and Austin Meade. On Friday the 5th, general admissions $100, VIP is $250, and that's going to be to watch Turnpike Troubadours, Cody Canada and The Departed, and William Beckmann. Little change this year for Wild West Fest. They're going to be selling merchandise online and at the event for the attendees. T-shirts, bags, hats. They're going to have food trucks there this year, featuring the local San Angelo food trucks. You can bring your own lawn chairs this year, and new ticket policies. You can only buy 6 tickets per transaction and 2 transactions, so you can only buy 12 tickets on 1 credit card. So let's jump into the acts on the river stage. So July 30th, Austin Meade starts at 7 p.m. Austin's latest single is Red Roof Estates, which gives way to a very catchy beat, a great song to jam out to. And thanks to plain spoken but deep heartland songwriters like Tom Petty and Cutting His Teeth touring in the Texas and Oklahoma red dirt scene, Meade's music overflows with wide open soulfulness. He was a drummer for years. He taught to play the bills. Meade found his true voice when he began playing guitar as a teen in his father's church. His father was a pastor. Those experiences lend both gravitas and rebelliousness to Meade's songs and self. Now the frontman of his own band, slinging guitar licks with expert precision. His music rolled out with 2 releases in 2014. His first EP, Long Ways to Go, followed by his first full-length album, Chief of Sinners. So make sure you check out Austin on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music. Then at 8:15, Muscadine Bloodline takes the stage, known most likely for their song "Me on You," which, if you know that song, it went viral on TikTok. All over. I think it's got over 1 million plays on TikTok alone. But then it kind of went viral from there. Muscadine Bloodline, they are proudly independent and unapologetically Southern. The country duo finds their true voice on their upcoming new album, Dispatch to 16th Avenue. Charlie Muncaster and Gary Stanton grew up in Mobile, Alabama, but didn't cross paths until they started to pursue their musical dreams. In 2012, they forged a friendship when Stanton opened a show for Muncaster's band at Soul Kitchen in Mobile. Charlie's contemporary vocals, complemented by Gary's harmonies and masterful guitar licks, showcase a powerfully refreshing mix of talent, passion, and unfiltered authenticity. Since naming themselves Muscadine Bloodline 2015, they've had 2 Billboard charting and critically acclaimed EPs. They've sold out shows across the country, opened for hundreds of artists, and earned a standing ovation at their Grand Ole Opry debut in 2018. And then the show that I think everybody's going to be talking about, one of the 2 shows at this festival that everybody's going to talk about, Whiskey Myers, 10 p.m. on July 30th. Whiskey Myers just released some singles off their new album, Tornillo, and they have been successful nationwide. The songs that are out there right now are John Wayne, Antioch, The Whole Damn World's Gone Crazy, and there's one more and I can't remember what it is. Fans across the nation, I've been hearing all over social media, they are calling Whiskey Myers soon to be known as one of the greatest rock bands of all time, and I don't disagree. The East Texas band has captured our souls and forces us to jam out to all their favorites. Their genre-blending band, Whiskey Myers, has played more than 2,000 live shows since their emergence in 2007. They have sold out 95% of their headlining shows over the past 2 years to ever-increasing crowds. USA Today describes the band, led by frontman Cody Cannon, as a riff-heavy blend of southern rock and gritty country that has earned comparisons to the Allman Brothers, Led Zeppelin, with Rolling Stone noting it's the seminal combination of twang and crunchy rock and roll guitars that hits a perfect sweet spot. Alright, moving on to August 5th, William Beckmann takes the stage at 7 p.m. on the River Stage. William just released a 7-song EP. The first song on the album, Bourbon Whiskey, seems to pay tribute to the stars of yesteryear, Conway, Merle, Elvis, throw in a little George Jones, and you got William. His second single, 30 Miles, feels more modern than Bourbon Whiskey and harkens to that late 80s, early 90s kind of feel. William has a low and slow vibrato that's absolutely stunning. William was born and raised in the small border town of Del Rio, Texas. Beckmann spent his formative years with a radio dial dominated by the sounds of northern Mexico, though he'd eventually gravitate more towards classical country and American roots. Beckmann's early immersion in mariachi and norteño music left an indelible mark, one that would help shape his distinctive style and guide him on his path to becoming one of the most promising young voices in country music today, and I agree. He is one of the most promising young voices. At 8:30, Cody Canada and The Departed take the stage. He just released their album Soul Gravy with title tracks Number, Lonely Girl, and Sick and Tired of Alabama. Sick and Tired and Alabama. The entire album, in my opinion, is a slam dunk. Favorite of mine being Lonely Girl. Cody Canada never disappoints. For those of you that don't know Cody, he was the frontman of Cross Canadian Ragweed, which saw huge success. Some of the CCR sound still kind of rings through in the Departed sound. For those who wonder what happened to Cross Canadian Ragweed, in May 2010, Cross Canadian Ragweed announced a hiatus from touring. In a band press release, Ragsdale explained, "Right now, I need to be at home for my family, particularly my son JC, who has autism. He was 10 years old and still struggling in his development. He says, I feel the only way I can help him is to be more hands-on and close to home." Despite Ragsdale wanting to get another drummer and press on, Canada stated, "We've always said from the start, we're Ragweed as the four of us, not Ragweed at all." In September 2010, Canada officially announced the band was calling it quits by announcing their last call show in October 2010 at Joe's Bar in Chicago, Illinois, stating, "As far as that's concerned, October 21st is the last one, the last gig." Since Cross Canadian Ragweed, Canadian and Plato have formed The Departed with fellow Yukon native Dave Bowen on drums, Seth James on guitar, and Steve Littleton on keyboards, releasing their debut album This Is Indian Land in 2011. Ragsdale and Cross both returned to Yukon. Ragsdale played with Stoney LaRue until 2013 and now works in the oil and natural gas industry, while Cross purchased and operates the bar that was their very first venue. Cross Canadian Ragweed performed in 1994. In 2019, Grady, Cross, and Randy Ragsdale joined lead singer songwriter Jason Young to form the band Cross, Rags, and Young. And then 10:15, Turnpike Troubadours take the stage. The last album we got from Turnpike was A Long Way From Your Heart, which featured their smash hits like Unwrung and Housefire, and a huge cult following for their entire works. Crowds across the country would sing the entire concert back to Evan and his crew. The band was formed in 2007 with original members including Evan Felker and R.C. Edwards. Their debut album, Bossier City, was recorded a month after the formation of the band in order to have a recording to sell at live shows. Felker later said the musical arrangements were not a good representation of what the band later became. Diamonds and Gasoline followed in 2010, produced by veteran songwriter Mike McClure. The songs Easton and Maine and Bossier City were then re-recorded for their 2015 self-titled album. Turnpike Troubadours' most recent album, A Long Way From Your Heart, was released in 2017 and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Top Country chart. On May 31st, 2019, the band hit an indefinite hiatus. 2 years later, on November 4th, 2021, the band's Instagram was cleaned off of all previous posts, and their website, turnpiketroubadours.com, read simply "Coming Soon," with what appeared to be a black band logo on an orange background. Since then, the website has been updated. Later in November 2021, the band announced its reunion and returned to touring, with shows at Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado for May 2022. A gritty country-leaning roots rock band out of eastern Oklahoma, Turnpike Troubadours, at their best, synthesize the populist political folk of Woody Guthrie and the outlaw-styled honky-tonk Waylon Jennings with doses of bluegrass, Cajun, and straight out of rock dynamics. Fronted by singer and guitarist Evan Felker and including bassist R.C. Edwards, fiddler Kyle Nix, guitarist Ryan Engelman, and drummer Gabe Pearson, the group celebrates and explores modern rural life with an awareness of history, delicately avoiding being ornate revivalists. Turnpike Troubadours is one of my absolute favorite bands. If you've ever been to a jam session with one of me, you know I love to sing. Love to sing a lot of Whiskey Myers songs, and I love to sing and play a lot of Turnpike Troubadour songs. So moving farther into the festival, so that what I just covered was the river stage. Now we're moving into individual bars. So July 29th is going to be the only day that the Sports Next Level is going to have events. And they're going to have Hunter Lacoste at 7 p.m., the Cameron Sacky Band at 8:15, and the Cameron Sacky Band was shaped in San Marcos and delivers an original sound different from anything you can hear in Texas right now. Heavy relic, reverb, unique voice, melodies. You can't help but sway. It's made for that perfect mood anytime. The Cameron Sacky Band's first EP album was recorded in a small apartment while attending a first semester at Texas State University. Although restricted by money and equipment, the EP made quite a debut. It sparked much interest from listeners of all genres and gained attention from well-respected artists in the Texas music scene. Now, after one EP and 2 singles, CSB is excited to present their debut album, Time Only Tells, which they released on April 23, 2021 out of pure love for Texas music. The Cameron Sacky Band continues to create a sound you surely won't forget. Be sure to check them out at Sports Next Level. And then at 9:30 at the same bar, the Damn Quails play at 9:30. They have just released their newest album on June 17th with Monsters, Highest Shelf, and Mile by Mile. Their sound feels it feels like Red Dirt music. It comes off just like Red Dirt music. If you love Red Dirt music, you know what it sounds like compared to everything else. They are 100% Red Dirt music. Moving over to Blaines Pub, July 30th, Pony Bradshaw is going to have the after party on July 30th, so he's going to play from midnight until whenever. With his most recent single coming out last year, the single Plain Dealing, it has a really bluesy and soulful feel to it with horns backing the melody. It's a great song. Bradshaw was born a nomad, traveling in his blood. He settled in North Georgia but he spent his formative years in East Texas up until he joined the military shortly after high school. So thanks for your service, Pony. The Air Force took him to Colorado for a spell, but ended up giving him the boot. Wires got crossed, youth prevailed, and he moved back to Texas with the kind of experience that can't be bought. A duffel bag full of BDUs, and a head teeming with stories and new perspectives. A lot of aimless wandering ensued before he arrived in Georgia. Bradshaw's most recent record, Calico Jim, on 1/29/21, was released via Black Mountain Music, a small independent label out of Greensboro, and recorded in Little Rock at Fellowship Hall Sound. After signing with Rounder Records in 2018 and putting out Sudden Opera, his debut record, he decided to part ways with the historic label to have more control. On August 4th, and this is at Blaines Pub still. On August 4th, Corey Kent's going to take the stage at 10 p.m. Corey released Wild as Her back on the 15th of July. It is a awesome song. Corey has a kind of a raspy voice, and it has a real simple guitar in the song. It's a great pairing. You can feel the emotion and just kind of the rawness in that song from Corey. The 3 places Corey spent most of his life were Bigsby, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, and Dallas, Texas. With the small town charm of Bigsby and his lyrics, the big city energy of Dallas, and the power of Nashville and his vocals. Corey's artistry bridges the gap of Red Dirt, Nashville, and Texas. In 2021, Corey is currently out on the road playing shows with Parker McCallum, Randy Rogers, Colby Cooper, and Eli Young Band, to name a few. And then on August 5th, Tanner Usrey, he's going to play the after party at Blaines. Tanner most recently released Beautiful Lies featuring Graycie York. It starts out kind of slow with just a guitar. Tanner comes in with this really rich, slow vibrato, and then the elements just kind of start to build. It kind of comes in with some electric backing, and then Graycie comes in and her voice feels just so raw and honest. And soulful. I honestly forgot for a second that I was listening to a guy that only has 15,000 followers on Instagram. The song, not saying that 15,000 is little, because that's way more than I got on Instagram, but still, a guy with his magnitude should be up there with, the Randy Rogers of the world. The song is a beautiful composition. It deserves to be in the top 5 in the charts right now, and I totally, that's my honest opinion. He is a Prosper, Texas born and bred singer and songwriter. Tanner Usrey has been earning a name for himself in the music industry since 2013 with his soulful southern style. Originally, Usrey performed with his brother and later kicked off his solo career in 2017, releasing his first EP, Medicine Man. In 2019, Usrey had cultivated a fast-growing audience with over 20 million streams and counting. Usrey had been on an upward trajectory, opening for notable artists such as Ward Davis and Lucero. Most recently, Usrey was named Peacemaker Festival's first emerging artist and recorded a 5-track EP titled Soul Sessions with Soul Studios. Alright, and then moving over to the Penny Tap House. So this one is 2 girls that are playing there, and I say girls, 2 ladies that are playing there on August 1st, and this is going to be a show you're gonna want to go to, I promise. August 1st, Holly Beth. Holly last year released her single Psycho. which makes a song that really displays the softness and strength of Holly's voice. It's a great song to listen to. When I listen to it, I kind of imagine someone that is struggling in a relationship and they just kind of need to sing away their worries and their feelings. Nearly 2 years ago, Holly left Oklahoma with an open heart and an eager mind for what the future had in store for her. A moment she had been talking about since she was a kid. She finally moved to Texas. Over the next 2 years, Beth would do things she never imagined she would do, and just in the beginning, with a total of over 1 million streams on just Spotify alone, Holly Beth is on the path to something huge. She's already breaking records, such as being the first ever female to be on the cover of Spotify's Texas Music Now playlist, and being the first female to break 100,000 streams on their debut single in the Texas music scene. Alright, now the lady she's going to be performing with is a great talent. Graycie York is going to be taking the stage with her at 7 p.m. When Graycie isn't blowing us away on one of Tanner's albums or songs, she's writing an answer song to one of my favorite Shotgun Rider songs, Texas Rain, which goes by the same name. The two songs are great together, and I definitely want to see a Graycie and Shotgun kind of duet. I think that'd be really cool. Her most recent single, Honey Tell Me Off, of her Sad Bird album, is a song that starts off kind of simple, very elegant. It has some acoustic guitar, and then it gives way to Gracie's beautiful voice. I absolutely love Graycie. I can't wait to see what Texas and the world has in store for her, but try not to tell Nashville. They would definitely steal her in a minute if they knew. Anyways, if she goes to Nashville, good for Graycie, I'm just saying. She was born and raised near Rockwall. The Texas country singer-songwriter Graycie York always knew she wanted to sing from the time she was 2, singing Rascal Flatts, which makes me feel really old in the back seat, to now singing on stages every weekend. She always knew when she was 12. She was gifted her first guitar from her grandparents, and shortly after taught herself to play it. For a while, she was only singing at home or in talent shows, and you would only ever find her picking a guitar or playing a piano. It wasn't until she took a trip with her dad to Nashville in 2018 where she fell in love with songwriting, and her love for country music grew 100 times, 1,000 times, whatever, a million times bigger. Shortly after that trip, she found her style of songwriting and the Texas country scene. A few of Gracie's musical inspirations include Patsy Cline, Adele, Caitlin Butts, Miranda Lambert, Chris Stapleton, but the list could go on and on and on according to her. She wrote her song Patsy Kind of Night in 2019 and then released it as her first single on March 5th, 2020. She then released her second single, Forever, 2 months later. Her debut album, EP Words to Say, as well as her album Sad Bird, are now available everywhere. Moving over to the house of Fifi Dubois, on July 30th, Kayla Ray is going to take the stage from 5 to 7 p.m. and then 11:45 to 2 a.m. She's at 11:45. She's going to be performing with another act, which I'll get to next. Kayla, whose most recent album, Songs of Extreme Isolation, Economic Crisis, and Other Funny Things, which she wrote during COVID, and the album artwork features her wearing a COVID mask. Kayla's voice has a very unique sound to it, which tells you she's from Texas. She has a vibrato that seems to come out even when she's just talking. The single Tree of Life is great, but I highly recommend White Claw Wasted. You can tell Kayla had fun writing and singing these songs, as the topics are just kind of everyday topics. The Waco, Texas-born singer-songwriter Kayla Ray wipes clean the dust of nostalgia and can bring even the hardest heart to a place of reflection and understanding. All this while remaining feverishly reverent to the roots of country music, greeting current-day affairs head-on, and chasing whiskey shots with the rowdiest banter one can muster. She's going to take the stage at the same time as Midnight River Choir, who's going to be playing the after party, midnight to whenever. The formation of the Midnight River Choir and they have an album coming out in August, but it's pre-released 4 singles so far. Misery, Will Be Gone, Princess of Peace, and Colorless. The song Misery totally reminds me of like a Jason Isbell, Stoney LaRue kind of feel to it. Either way, I cannot recommend them enough. Please go download that album, pre-save it anyways, to all your music platforms. They are nothing short of a force of nature, I promise you. Their music speaks volumes about who they are and what they are, and they don't have really any labels to go by or to compare them to. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. Their lives have been woven together by a strong thread of energy, both on and off stage. The energy is raw and natural and soaked up from the earth through their bare feet. They believe that what you got is what you give, and they give everything they have to the crowds. When that kind of energy lands back at the feet of the boys, it is something of supreme intensity, and no one ever forgets it. August 2nd, at the house of Fifi Dubois, you're going to hear from Jade Marie Patek at 7:30 p.m. Jade released a single in March of this year, T is for Texas. It's a very bluesy song. Jade's voice comes in like a powerhouse. Be sure to go download it right now. And I mean, like, just pause video and download it real quick. You're not going to regret it. Pulling her musical inspirations from Southern rock, country, and blues, which you can really hear the blues and the kind of that Southern gospel feel to it, Jade Marie Patek brings a soulful, powerful sound to the Texas music scene. After the release of her debut EP, Flybird, in 2018, Jade was named the Texas Regional Radio New Female Vocalist of the Year. Fall of 2019, Jade released a compilation of cover tracks she deemed her soul sessions, including cuts made famous by Janis Joplin, the Allman Brothers, and Jonathan Tyler. The evolution of her sound has continued with the release of her newest single, Dancing with the Devil, an original blend of soul and southern rock, which features Courtney Patton and Dustin Schaefer. Her haunting rendition of Dead Man was featured on the Music Fest The Years Cody Canada tribute album in January of 2020. Jade has become a staple at many historic Texas dance halls and is a crowd favorite at festivals nationwide, including Music Fest at Steamboat, Gordy's Highway 30 Music Fest, and Rio Frio Fest. Jade has been added to playlists curated by Spotify, the New Music Nashville, and Texas Music Now, and Apple Music's Don't Mess with Texas. Jade has been featured in articles by Music Mecca, Americanaville in Scotland, York Calling in UK, The Next Women of Country. She is a member of the Americana Music Association, TRRMA, Texas Country Music Association, BMI, and Sequestered Songwriters. And then at 8:30, and I apologize, I don't have anything to tell you about him, but Rio Tripiano is taking the stage at the house of Fifi Dubois at 8:30 that night. On August 4th, Abbey Duncan is going to take the stage at 7:30. In April, Abbey released a single, Chasing a Cowboy. It's a really raw and unfiltered sound. The guitar in it almost sounds distant. It may not have been intentional, I don't know, but either way, it sounds great. Abbey has a voice I could listen to all day. And it surprises me that she is still in college full-time. She's attending Texas Tech University as a student there. She has immersed herself in the Lubbock music scene, which if you know anything about the Lubbock music scene, that's where Corey Morrow, Pat Green, Josh Abbott, there's been like I think 40 plus artists that have come out of Lubbock that have gone to huge success in the Texas music scene. With live shows at key venues like the Blue Light Live, both live and recorded radio exposure, festivals like San Angelo's Wild West Fest, and the unforgettable experience of opening the 2021 Josh Abbott Band Music Festival, Jab Fest. Abbey's gained a solid audience. Abbey's love of classic country, Americana, and rock gives authenticity to her sound. Growing up in the Austin area exposed her to many genres and artists and shaped her love of all music. Her musical influences are broad and include a wide spectrum from Emmylou Harris, Dolly Parton, to Ryan Adams, Casey Musgraves, John Mayer, and so many others. Her music has garnered attention, and many in the industry have said that they cannot wait to hear more. I can't wait to hear more. All right, moving over to Fiddlestrings Bar and Patio, July 31st. Ken Faux is going to take the stage at 1 p.m. Ken released Grain of Salt on the 15th of July. It's a great honky-tonk song. It's a two-step song. It's when you listen to it, you can picture dancing at Billy Bob's or Kane's Ballroom kind of song. He's based out of San Antonio. Ken Faux is nationally touring. He's a high-energy Texas red dirt country band whose more obvious influences are along the lines of Charlie Daniels, Alabama, and Restless Heart. It shows strongly through virtuosic fiddle and strong vocal harmonies. Their more eclectic influences come through via poignant, blistering guitar work and a thundering, solid rhythm section. The boys quickly established themselves as an extremely entertaining act to see and garnered significant attention following the release of their self-titled EP in 2018. They are hardworking, driven, and not afraid of logging road miles. Faux embarked on a series of tours around the Midwest and ultimately Texas was here that they began to feel the pull of the thriving and vibrant music scene. And the decision to uproot and relocate to San Antonio took them less than 2 minutes. Texas embraces Ken as readily as Ken embraces Texas. The boys have not only played at, but have become regular live fixtures at some of the most iconic venues, dance halls, and honky-tonks that the Lone Star State has to offer. Ken Fo's name can be seen on flyers, marquees at John T. Flores, Country Store, Green Hall, Luckenbach. You can easily be found sharing a bill with Kevin Fowler, Rick Trevino, Roger Krieger, Neil McCoy, and yes, they are still touring, so it's not impossible. Over at Twisted Root Burger Company, Deborah Knox is going to play there from 5 p.m. through the happy hour on July 30th, and on August 3rd, Case Harden is going to take the stage. At 8:30 p.m., Case released Honky Tonk Highway as a single in June of this year. It reminds me of some of the Mountain States outlaw country of the 90s, like the Chris Ledoux type stuff. You can picture it being played in a bar that can barely fit all the cowboys and contestants at like Cheyenne Frontier days. He's a native son of San Angelo. He grew up ranching and rodeoing with background while developing a love for traditional and neo-traditional country music. Case began his music career his senior year of high school in 2013, which was the same year he went on to American Idol. Their influences are very recognizable in the way that they play from traditional honky-tonk music to progressive Texas music. To add to his accomplishment, Case has already won various awards and competitions, including West Texas Songwriters, TCMA's New Male Vocalist, the State FFA, South by Southwest, and many others. His debut single, Sign of a Fool, easily broke into the top 20 at number 18 on the Texas country charts. Unheard of any debut artist's debut single. To add to this, his second radio single, Deep Blue Me, climbed to the top spot and broke into the top 10, hitting number 6 on Texas country charts. Case's last 2 radio singles, Old Stomping Ground hit number 2, Texas Rain, number 2 song for all of 18, have earned him consecutive top 5 hits on radio and Songs of the Year for Texas radio. The newest album from Case, entitled Lucky Him, will be available in 2022 and includes many anticipated radio singles, including his most recent single, Alcohol Abuse, which was his first multi-week number 1 across the Texas country music charts. On August 4th, Rita Cappuccina take place from 5 through the happy hour. Cappuccina is a multi-genre artist based out of San Angelo with sounds ranging from blues, country, southern rock, R&B, classic rock, and Latin. On August 5th, Manny Campos Band is going to play from 5 p.m. through the happy hour. And that does it for Twisted Root Burger Company. Miss Hattie's Restaurant on July 30th is going to have Kevin Brown. Kevin is a blind jazz saxophonist with over 40 years of professional experience. Kevin has developed an intense, improvised style of playing. His unique sound is both soothing and captivating the listener. Kevin has toured USA, Canada, and Europe, the Hawaiian Islands, and Spain, being proficient in several styles of music such as jazz, blues, rock, fusion, R&B, funk, classical, and country. It has allowed Kevin to play in many bands and groups, ranging from his solo performances to a 40-piece jazz orchestra. Kevin owns and operates his recording studio, Curse Buster Sound. Saxophonist Kevin Brown travels the world playing jazz, and as for many people, music has been Kevin's companion through the ups and downs of his life. Kevin was born totally blind, but doctors restored some of his vision when he was 6. He fully used his partial sight, even playing football as a kid and teaching himself to play saxophone. But the day he was hit by a car, Kevin realized the limits of his eyesight. Soon after that, he began to focus more on music. On August 5th, the Charlie Daniels 2 Band is going to take the stage at 5 p.m. That does it for Miss Hattie's. Over at the 1933 bar on August 5th, Matt Lopez is going to play from 5 p.m. Through the happy hour. Matt's songs are a collection of short stories, poems, and toe-tapping tunes. His music spans multiple music genres and is rooted in real life. And then the Marshall Pint on July 30th, Cooper Mormon and Company is going to take the stage from 5 p.m. to happy hour. Cooper released Where Are You Darlin' in June of this year, and it was immediately one of my favorites because Texas was raised, because if you were in Texas, you were raised, if you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. I was raised, if you're going to play country, you got to have a pedal steel in the band, and this song has both, so I loved it immediately. He was raised in Houston, Cooper developed a love for storytelling at a young age, crediting his father for his inspiration. In songwriting, Cooper discovered a natural way to express his emotions through his slice-of-life lyrics. When asked who his favorite current artists were, he quickly named Randy Rogers Band, Whiskey Myers, Zach Bryan, Turnpike Troubadours, Chris Stapleton. Cooper has 3 singles scheduled for 2022, including fan favorites Back in Corona Time and Where Are You Darling, which Where Are You Darling is out right now. Get to know Cooper on Instagram and be sure to keep an eye out for Cooper's next single in February, which I think they're both out now. This statement's a little bit old. On August 3rd, Tyler Halverson plays at 7 p.m. and the only thing he wanted to say was Western marijuana music. Thanks for listening. And then August 5th, James Manders and Mark David Manders takes the stage at 5 p.m. That is the Wild West Fest taking place down in San Angelo. I truly believe that whole time span is going to be a bucket list kind of moment. But anyways, make sure you're following us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Vimeo, on TikTok. Just give us a like and a follow. Share it to your friends. I think that's the like and the share, I could really use it. Facebook is being really temperamental about uploading videos, and YouTube is much more friendly for uploading these kind of videos, but I'm not getting the views on YouTube that I'm getting on Facebook, so if you could all do me a favor and go like and follow, click the little bell icon on the YouTube side, and on the Facebook side, make sure you're following us there. I will post everything to my website as well, txcountrymusic.net. This has been your Texas Country Music News Update, and we'll see you tomorrow.